Hello, Aries. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This reading is officially activated. You clicked on it, and now it is yours. So let's go ahead and see what's going to unfold here for you, Aries. We start with the energy of the Prince of Wands. Very fiery, very youthful, lots of force, passion, motivation. Maybe not enough of the airy quality that we sometimes need when we have all of this passion. But we're learning. That's what the princess and the prince are all about. These are not fully formed beings. And so when we get this energy, we know. It is new. It is not subtle. It is not subtle. It is, fireworks. It is, that love affair that just follows you for the rest of your life, right? Not in a bad way. The one that you're 67 years old and you're sitting on the porch and you're drinking your tea and you're watching the birds and you're thinking about that one summer back when you were in your 20s, when you were in your 30s, whatever it was. And there was that love. And it spills over, doesn't it? So we're going to go ahead. We're going to remember that this energy is the one that is really kind of filling the halls, right? It is the one that is, it is decorating our lives right now. It is definitely not something that is passive, not in the slightest. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be distracted here, but I am a little. I had to fix my watch here. Am I always working on this dang watch? Okay, so we knock 3 times, and we're going to go ahead and lift this thing up. And I want to say thank you again for clicking on the reading. Thank you for being brave. It is today, November 2nd. Is it the 2nd now? 3rd. Oh my goodness, it's already the 3rd. Where is this time going? So I am recording this on November 3rd. It will come out November 4th, 2025. I just want to mention the date so that you know when this was recorded. You can go back in your calendar and see kind of what was going on if you're not watching this on the day it comes out, and kind of have a better idea of maybe how this might affect you, right? Because it does matter. It matters when something is created to some degree. I used to think, why do they always put the dates and like the country of origin of the painter on a painting? And now, as an older person who has looked at a lot of art over the years, I see, it definitely gives you a context of like what the culture was like, what was going on in the world. All these things really influence the work, All right, so I also want to say, if you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, it really does help the channel so much. I'm not one to really, I don't want to ask anybody for help ever. I don't know. I grew up in a weird household, a weird household where everybody just had to fend for themselves, basically. So I don't like asking for help, but listen, the channel won't survive if you guys don't, come and watch the readings. So I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you for hitting that like. I appreciate you for sharing these readings with the people that you love and care about. And let's get started. So in the middle, we have the Ace of Swords. You can see, look, there's that air energy we were talking about, which is all about the mental, right? The rational thinking, logical innovation. Now we have the 8, as you can see right here. So this would be the hilt of the sword, and this would be the blade down here. So we also have another 8 right here. So we have 88. We also have the number 5, as you can see right here. And I want to look at the accompanying symbols around. So it looks like we have a mountain range. We have a person kneeling. And then we have another person who seems to be maybe in a seated position here. I have a hawk right up in here. This is the hawk. This is the tail, the head. Over here we have a house with a chimney that is going. More mountains, and then somebody who looks like they're maybe running, holding something. Here's the head, body, legs, holding something. So to me, at the core of everything, there is this sense of kind of coming into your rational mind. Maybe after a period of time where you have been kind of in this place of lust, of love, of desire, of indulgence, of feeling these big emotions that are just kind of, they pour over you, they push you, they pull you. You feel like you're being tossed and turned by the ocean, right? You're in those waves, you haven't found your footing, and you were just taken by it all. And now that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It might be that you're like in that honeymoon period. Have you ever completely lost yourself in love? I know that I have. Heck, I've lost jobs because I wouldn't get out of bed, right? Like I just stayed in bed with my beloved one and just didn't want to go to work. And, I was young, obviously, but, there are times in our lives where we just get pulled away into the thing, don't we? And it's like all of life kind of changes. It feels different. It looks different. Our priorities, our focuses have changed. And then suddenly, right, the rent bill shows up. Or you realize you haven't been to the gym in the last 2 weeks. Or, it's just these moments where we realize like, oh my gosh, what have I been doing? I've been so focused on this thing. I'm like so behind, right? And so I feel the hawk here really is this sense of like, okay, now we need to pull our perspective out because we've been fixated on whatever's going on. Right? Again, I do think that it might be a romantic endeavor, right? An entanglement, if you will. I do feel that this has to do with not only romance and love, but, a lot of lust as well. I think there's a lot of lust. And then I believe, something is happening where you're snapped back into reality. You're looking around, you're thinking, my goodness, I really need to put some time and effort into, and this is where we see the house, the domestic aspect of your life. Okay. I do feel like you are somebody who has been through it, right? You're no stranger to adversity. But I do think at times things can be going pretty freaking well. And you start to forget like how challenging they have been. And so this is like a moment before, the alarms start going off and you really have to like hurry up and get things switched up. But this is like that first notice. It's like, okay, you've been having some fun, you've been doing your thing, but now it is time. It's time to get back on track. It's time to get refocused. We got to do this thing, right? I'm a firm believer in no days off. I know, I do take days off of work. Not because I want to, though. Honestly, I would love to do my readings every day, all day long. But I have a family that I take care of, that I run, this household, this life that we are living. And I'm also, very involved in the administrative parts of our business. So you don't always see me here. But I will tell you what, I don't believe in days off anymore. Only because and let me just be very clear, this is for me personally, not for other people. Anybody else, I'm like, baby, rest, take it easy, get your strength up. But for me, and if you've ever heard this dude, his name is David Goggins. Now, he's not the nicest person, but he's honest. And that's what I like. I learned from listening to some of his stuff, that for some of us, taking a day off puts you so much further back than you ever would have realized, right? And it's not that you're not gaining the momentum or you're not producing, but what it is that we get distracted, right? When we're out of the flow of what we're doing, out of routine, we get distracted. We start questioning ourselves. We lose that momentum that we had worked so hard to get. And for people like me who, I love giving up on things. It's my favorite. I love quitting jobs. I love saying I'll do it tomorrow. I love throwing things away, I don't want to clean that. I'll just throw it away. But I can't. And I won't. I need to hold myself to some kind of system, to some kind of goal, to some kind of ideal. Not for anybody else, but for myself. And that's what I've learned about myself is when I take those days off, it feels like I have to start over again. It's like naps. I don't take naps. I do not take naps. I have not for most of my life. When I had my daughter, when my daughter was young, I did. I was, nursing, and I would get really tired because, we nursed for 3 years. So, you just get worn out when you have a young baby. But I don't because, and again, if you can do it, take your naps if it's something that works for you. But for me, does not work. There's a 50-50 chance I wake up in a bad mood. I don't want to do anything. I've had to start my day over again. I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. And so I feel like for this point in your journey, there is this clear message here. There's enough play. There's been enough distraction. There's been, a good amount of indulgence, and good for you. I'm glad that you did it. But now it's about tightening up. Now it's about getting in the thing. Now it's about the marathon has begun. And I see this being a time where you're climbing those mountains. You are dealing with some of the issues in your life. You are facing the hard things, and you are not running away from them. Okay? Now, I do believe that, and we have this person here, I do believe that you have somebody in your life who you are close with, and I wonder if this is like a good friend, if this is a sibling, if this is somebody you work with. I do feel like whatever it is about them, when you spend time with them, you it's not that you take on their behaviors or their personality, but I feel like it's almost kind of like you're so connected in such a deep way that whatever they're doing or whatever vibe they're on, it really does affect you. Most people don't, but this person does. Now, I think this is important because they are somebody who, although you love them deeply and they're amazing, and I feel that this is an amazing person, they're very they avoid any kind of difficulty. So if there's a challenge, they're not even going to like begin, right? Because they know this is going to be too hard for me. I don't want to do this. And when you are around somebody like that, it does affect you. So I'm not saying that you have to cut them out of your life. I absolutely don't feel that at all. But I do think that there needs to be some tempering here. And I do think that maybe there needs to be a little bit of distance while you are regaining your footing, while you are regaining your momentum, while you are focusing on the greater work at hand. Okay? And the number one thing, getting that house in order. Whatever is going on, it feels like it has become almost unmanageable. Not quite. You still have, you still have the ability to turn this thing around. But I do feel like it's been chaotic. It's been loud. It's been kind of a sense of conflict, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that nobody who you're living with is putting in the work within the family, within the household, within the relationship. Everybody is busy with their own things and can't be bothered, and I think that's where the problem is kind of beginning to get bigger and bigger. So I do think that this is like it is. It's like a calling to get back into doing the household things. I don't know if this means like cleaning up the house or decluttering, or maybe you're a little behind on some bills. Maybe there's somebody living in the house or like staying, like you have like a boyfriend or a girlfriend that's been staying, and when they do, it causes problems with the kids or, whatever it is. I do feel like there's a need for some real readjustments here. Now, the good news is I don't think that, I think it's a good thing. I absolutely do. I think that this is going to end up being something that really kind of changes the whole atmosphere and dynamic of your relationships. And I think it really is just being present, just being in the moment, right? Not like on your phone scrolling through stuff, trying to read your text while your kid is standing next to you talking about, football or, their grades, or I need you to do this for me, for my school dance, or, whatever it is. Your phone is down, turned off, right? You're looking at the person who's talking to you and you're in the conversation. And I know that seems like, duh, Lenor, who can't do that? Yeah, most of us can't. I'm holding myself accountable. I 100% will start to look at my phone while somebody is talking to me if I'm not doing it already immediately. And sometimes I even find it very hard to turn the screen off and put the phone down. And that is ridiculous. And I know it is. Nothing is more important than what my daughter has to say to me. The only other thing that would be important is if somebody is calling for me to come get my daughter, or, she's calling, she needs me. It's all wrapped up into that dynamic. And so why do I find it difficult to turn off my phone and stop looking at, some posts that some chick made that I went to high school with? I haven't talked to her in 20 years or whatever. Why is that more important than what my daughter has to say to me? It's not. It's not. So here we are practicing presence, prioritizing and I don't want to say the real, because it's all real, but what is right in front of us versus these, fleeting impulses to consume content or whatever. So I see you really strengthening your relationship here. Okay. Now, the other part of all of this is it feels like there is a feminine entity. It doesn't feel like a human. And the name Carrie, Corey, Carol. It's not a human. But, and I'm looking over here. We have the Hierophant and maybe another Hierophant. We have the Knight on a horse. We have the Dragon. So it does feel to me that you've had this feminine energy around. It feels like this is more of the night side. Maybe this is a shadow aspect. I feel that you picked this energy up from a place that you visited. It feels like a historical place that had possibly like a graveyard type of, not a graveyard, like almost want to say like a reliquary or like a place where they hold a lot of objects. Maybe a museum. And this entity seems to be very tied to you, curious about your life. I do feel that you have perceived her. We have contemplation. We have the number 127. We have a person riding. And here's where the person's body would be. Riding on top of, it looks like a horse. We have prayer. Again, we have the Hierophant. Prayer again. The number 8, and we have the fish. So I do feel that there's a sense of choosing work that is more beneficial to your spirit than it is monetarily. And doing that with great conviction. Now, I feel that this is something that it's already come to pass. This is something you did in like a long time ago, maybe like 10, 15 years ago. You gave up a good opportunity to do what you knew was right for you. And now I see that there will be a possibility for you to actually make a good amount of money through the work that you chose to do, versus taking the route that maybe would have been a little easier and more lucrative up front. This one you have put your heart and mind and soul into, and I think it is going to start paying off. And maybe you had lost hope in that, but I do think that you're going to kind of really see yourself, getting offered work, maybe getting a raise, a new position, and maybe this is like you have a business and you've been surviving but not thriving, and now you're starting to see that there is more of a need for your services, and you're seeing more customers and more people inquiring and this kind of thing. And so I do see money rising in this, and I can't get past that there's this feminine energy. I just keep seeing her in the kitchen, near the kitchen window, staring out. What is she looking at? I don't know. It seems like maybe you can see the neighbors from the kitchen window, maybe their backyard. There's something. It seems like I feel almost like she followed you home. She's in your life. She's been there for a while. And now it's almost kind of like she's warning about a neighbor. It seems to be a neighbor that you maybe can see like their backyard. And there's some kind of energy there. If there's like maybe a teenage masculine person, that's kind of the energy. It feels unsafe though, and I have to say, I'm not going to lie about that or skip over it, because if there is an unsafe person in your life, especially close to your house, I have to tell you. I don't want you to go on some, you're like the Inquisitioners or something like that. But keep an eye out, because there's just something about them. Not dangerous in like a violent kind of way, but like cannot be believed. There's no trust to be had there. Okay. So I do also see there is a movement towards prayer recently. Maybe you've begun to pray again, and that's kind of being confirmed as something that really should continue within your work, because I think it's something that it does. It's really good at helping you kind of ground yourself. Okay, come into that center. All right, let's do our lucky numbers. Our first lucky number is going to be 61, 61. Now we have 39, 39, 61, 39, and 12, 12. All right. And then we will do one Mystique of Magdalene Oracle card, affirmation card. I forget which one it is, but we'll stop where it feels right. And it says, number 19, Desert Rose. True love cannot hide. True love cannot hide. All right. Well, Aries, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you, because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It's always such a great honor for me to be able to bring these messages to you. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, again, I want to tell you I love you. I love you. I love you. Please take care of yourself. We'll talk soon, and good night.